morning, everyone, and thank you very much for joining us for this very interesting talk this morning. My name is Luze Kloppers from the Recycling Lab, and we are currently working in Namibia. So what the Recycling Lab does is we provide small recycled plastic solutions to create a cleaner and safer environment for all. Through training and workshops and data collection, we aim to establish an effective circular manufacturing chain and network to provide an income to rural communities today, often left out of any income possibilities. Through workshops and training sessions, we create awareness to remind people of the value of the materials that they are just burning and throwing away. Everything we deem as waste actually has a longer lifespan and can be turned into something new when we realize the value that it has. Therefore, safe disposal solutions are of vital importance, not only to protect the environment, but also to make the separation and collection for recycling easier. The burning of plastics, as mentioned a few times today, produces black carbon and contributes to global warming, as well as it is very, very poisonous and pollutes the soil and our water systems. Wildlife and livestock are also dying due to the amounts of plastic waste they consume. Our aim at the Recycling Lab is to recycle these plastics and lower the environmental impact, conserve our resources, and at the same time, add an additional income for youth and women in rural communities. So where does the value of digital tools come in, you might ask? Wow. It is of vital importance to measure the impact we are making. Are we solving the right issues? Do we really know what the true problem is? So there was a poll earlier today. So if it's possible to share that results quickly. Fantastic, thank you. So as you can see, it is well stated that the PET plastic bottles have the biggest impact. And this can be deemed true because that is the materials that we see the most. That is the plastics that we consume the most. And it is everywhere. When you looked at photos and everything, those are the plastics that you see. But for example, if you look at polystyrene, it's not as highly dense, but the impact it has on the environment is much more severe. Polystyrene is extremely poisonous and so difficult to recycle. So if you look at graphs and stuff, it's quite evident that it doesn't look as important. For example, if you look on the right-hand graph, I don't know if you can see my mouse, but there's a small blue point that's polystyrene. So compared to the weight impact that it has, it seems very little compared to other plastics. But also the point that I tried to make with this poll is, do we really know what the true data is? Because the results are based on what we have been made aware of, or research that has been done on specific plastics. But in the bigger scale of things, do we really know what the problem is? Then, for example, many countries are banning plastic straws and are starting with plastic carrier bags. But then the polystyrene, how important is that compared to the other plastics? And then also without this data, we can't see the whole picture. Accurate data gives us the ability to make better and more informed decisions in the future. For example, a company would say, we recycled 50 tons of plastics last month. That sounds impressive, right? But 15 tons of how much plastic? Is it only 1% of all the plastic that can be recycled in that country? And then saying we recycle so many plastics, what type of plastics? Because throwing all of them together is also not feasible. So to develop and put in place legislations and policies, we need to know what the exact problem is. Without this data, entrepreneurs and innovators can't solve the waste problem or write good business proposals based on facts. Once we know what we are trying to achieve, data is also important to keep track of the progress and to measure how close we came to our desired goals. Therefore, we created this online platform where we collect all the material products that come into Namibia from importers, as well as local manufacturers and traders that import their raw materials. So when you look at the graphs, on the left-hand side, you have the packaging type. So this is then, is it in a container? Is it branding, that's all the labeling? Is it safety? Is it the shrink wrap for packaging that it comes in? And then also looking at the packaging features. For example, is it a box? Is it a can? Is it a bottle? Is it a tub? Is it a sweet wrapper? And then also the material type. Is it HDPE? Is it a polypropylene? Is it glass? Is it steel, etc.? Because based on all of this data, it's easier to see, for example, is polypropylene more popular as a sweet wrapper or as a yogurt tub or your ice cream containers? So through this, it's easier to then determine what the way forward is. Where can you start cutting? Where can you start eliminating or look at solutions for better and greener solutions for the future? Thank you very much.